Hey, and welcome to my channel. I'm going to be doing the mom tag. I was tagged by Brittany Ann here on YouTube. She is like hilarious. You guys need to subscribe to her channel if you're not already. But I want to tag my friend Lauren Ricks as well as Lex Fitzgerald to do this mom tag as well. So I'll leave the questions in the description box below. So if you want to do this mom tag video, make sure you upload it and then send it to me so I can watch it. Anyways, question number 1. How old were you when you had your first child? I was 27 years old. What was the hardest part of being pregnant for 9 months? I don't know how many of you know my story, but the hardest part of pregnancy for me was being on bed rest. I started off my pregnancy very active, very normal, and at 21 weeks I was diagnosed with a condition called incompetent cervix, where I had an emergency procedure done to keep my son in, like a stitch around my cervix, and then I had to be on modified bed rest. And so it was really hard for me, you know, putting things on pause and slowing down when I was really just like a go, go, go type of person before that. 3, can you think of anything you enjoyed during those 9 months? Oh, I loved, obviously, feeling your baby kick. I learned a lot about myself in that season of life with resting, how I really was go, 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 go. I needed that period of rest to slow down and reprioritize things because I had gotten out of alignment with who I was, and it was just a really good learning experience. I am on question number 4. Were all the things you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? For me, it happened so fast. I woke up with terrible back pain, and then we got to the hospital fairly quickly. I was already very much dilated, so it was like we got to the hospital and it was epidural, or like I got checked, epidural, water break, hang out for a minute, time to push. Like it was just all really fast. So I think how I heard about it taking a long time or being in labor for long amounts of time, that wasn't necessarily what I expected, but most of it was pretty accurate, like the pain and the way you feel. And I just got away from the notes. I am on question 5. Would you have handled childbirth different knowing what you do now? No, I would do it all over exactly the same. I hope that it happens exactly the same, because I literally woke up, had back pain, knew I needed to go in. Like I said, got the epidural, hung out for a little bit, and then it was pushing go time. I think I pushed for a very short amount of time and he was here. I will link my labor and delivery story down below if you want to know more about that. But like, if I could have it go exactly the same way this time around, I totally would. 6, what's your biggest advice for someone that's about to have a baby? Oh my gosh. Okay, so give yourself grace and relax. And I have written down here, take advice from people you love, not the internet's opinions. So for me, it was like I was wanting to do everything right. I was wanting to research everything. I was wanting to like do things the right way. And it brought me way far away from what it was I wanted for myself and for my baby. And instead, I should have just listened to the few women that like I admire and respected and their opinions, and gone with my own mommy gut, and know that motherhood is not perfect. It's not always as glamorous as what you may think it's gonna be, but it is amazing. And just take deep breaths. Know you are doing a good job. Like, there were so many times where I questioned if I was a good mom or doing a good job. And that is my biggest advice, is as a mom, you are gonna be doing a great, great job. 7, what's been the hardest thing about being a mom? And I would say knowing if you're doing it right or not, like if you're handling certain situations right or not. I've wondered that when my son was making the switch from breast milk to formula, or making the switch when we were struggling with reflux, of starting him on a medication, and then even now into being a toddler, like, am I handling his tantrums the right way? You know, he's kind of in that phase where using his hands and like, if like hitting, it's like, how do we handle that the right way? So I feel like that's the hardest part of being a mom. 8, what is the most rewarding thing of being a mom? The unconditional love you witness your child having for you as the mom. Like I've said, I've made many mistakes as a mom, especially now that he's a toddler, losing my temper and feeling more frustrated and just not showing up in my best way. But Bryce still loves me. He still, like, kids forgive and they love deeper than anything at this age. So I would say that's been the most rewarding thing, is like, I could feel like I just failed as a mom that day. And then when we're reading books and I'm laying Bryce down and he wants another kiss, or, you know, he just doesn't carry that grudge against me. 9, what was the most surprising thing you discovered about being a mom? It's way harder. It's way harder. I nannied, and I always grew up around kids, big extended family that I was around a lot. And I worked at a daycare in college, babysat, nannying, like I was always around kids. So I was like, when I become a mom, I've got this. And you know that phrase, like, it's different when they're yours? It's so true. Like, being a mom brought a new wave of anxiety, of worry, of stress, and like it added a different layer onto things than what I thought it was gonna be. What's my best memory involving my child? Oh my gosh, there's so many. A lot of them have to do with being outside. Last summer we were very intentional about being outside at the lake, at this like little national park with a wading pool. Like we were very intentional with being outside. When he was taking 2 naps a day, I loved going on walks like 15 minutes before his nap time to kind of help settle him down. I love that memory. And then also the Merlin sleep suit. Like, I have such fond memories of Bryce being like 3 to like 6 months old, maybe even like maybe older than 6 months, in his Merlin sleep suit. Oh my gosh, so cute. Like, just the little marshmallow boy he was. Like, that was just my favorite. What's been the most exciting milestones? When he says new words. I love when he says new words, and we hear him say things. Like, even this morning, he loves watching Daniel Tiger. So this morning it was clear as day, Daniel. He was looking up at the TV and he said Daniel, and it was just like so clear. Whereas before he was kind of saying, like, he'd say like, it kind of sounded like dada or like certain D sounds, and we just assumed it was Daniel, but it was like clear as day. We have a top contender for this baby number 2's name. I'm 30 weeks pregnant right now. So I have a toddler and I'm 30 weeks pregnant. And I love having him say the baby's name. It's not official. It's not like the main, it's just the main one on the list right now. And so I love trying to get Bryce to say it, and it's not clear at all yet, but maybe with more practice it will be. 12, what's the worst thing your child has ever done? Oh, tantrums. And now like it's starting to be like the hitting phase. So if any of you moms who are older and wiser, or maybe even not older than me, wiser than me, and have been through this season, like, I've really noticed lately he's been starting to use his hands more. He did go through like a season of pulling my hair. If he's mad about something, he'll kind of like swat. And if you have any advice, let me know. That's all I'm gonna say about that. What habit did you wish your child didn't have? So this is a good habit and a bad, and it's a good and a bad thing. He is very routine, and if you start making something a routine and it gets a little off, he can get really flustered. For example, for like a week, it was nice out when my husband was home from work. So my husband would take him on the lawnmower for a little lawnmower ride. Bryce loves going for rides and drives and things like that. And then one day it was raining when my husband got home, and Bryce just lost it. Like, he didn't understand why that routine was being broken, but it's also a really good thing because bedtime has always been consistent, and nap times have always been consistent, just because he's been just a natural routine type of person. What habit of theirs makes me most proud? His sleeping and him saying thank you. This is probably more of in the moment. He's been a pretty good sleeper. He's always been consistent with his naps and his bedtimes and his wake up times and things like that, even though I wish his wake up time was a little later in the morning, but he sleeps through the night, so that's good. And him saying thank you. He has never been like a repeater. Like, if I ask him, Bryce, say thank you, he doesn't, but he says it at the right times. Like, you bring him food, you hand him a toy, you know, give him his glass of water or his cup of water, he says thank you. And for a while it was just it was like doo 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 doo, and we're like, is he saying thank you? And now it's progressing to being clearly thank you, and it is so cute. 15, does my child share any similarities with me physically or personally? We have the same hair texture. Bryce's, since it's short, it kind of like just sticks up everywhere, but we both have fine, thin, same colorish hair where it's kind of darker at the roots and lightens. I obviously get more highlights in my hair, but my hair is very much like that, like darker at the roots, and then it would be more of like a lighter golden blonde, but we have the same hair color and hair texture. And then also routine. I like to have routine. I like to know what to expect, and he does too. Where would you like your child to be in 10 years? Well, he will be almost 12. So I hope that he's just a strong, kind individual that likes who he is. I think self-confidence is something that we as parents will, especially like with the way our kids will be growing up with social media, like their friends will tear them down, and they will feel teared down at school because if they're not getting perfect grades, like they will constantly have messages of like, are you hitting the bar? And I think like just as a parent, I want Bryce to know that we love him and we will always love him for who he is. And there's like, if he was a straight A student, I would love and celebrate him just as much as if he was a C student that tried really hard for those C's. Like and even like with friends, like there's gonna be bullies and there's gonna be things that try to tear him down, and I just hope that I hope he gets this from his dad. My husband is a very self-confident person, and I hope that he gets that same trait from my husband. 17, almost done here. What has having a child taught me? Grace and patience. I think I kind of covered this one a lot already. Did I imagine I'd be a mom at the age I became a mom? I thought I'd be a mom way earlier. I thought I would be like 23 years old and done having kids. So when I was dating this guy at around those ages, I was like, are we gonna get married? Are we gonna get married? Are we gonna get married? And he was like, we're like 20 and 21. Slow down. And I met my husband at age 23, and we dated for a couple years before getting engaged, and we were engaged for a little while, and like I honestly thought I'd be a super, super young mom. Describe your child in a single sentence. Oh, this one was hard, but I wrote down Bryce is a complete miracle. Like, he is meant to be on this earth with a strong purpose, because with what we went through with incontinent cervix and, you know, many beautifully perfect, healthy babies do not make it because of this awful condition, and it is very rare for your first pregnancy to be saved and to go as well as mine did. And so I know that is all just for God's purpose in this world, and he's meant to be here. Every child is a miracle, right? Like, we all feel that way about our kids. 20, last one. Have you changed as a person since becoming a mom? Yes, I have changed in many ways. I am less organized, more frazzled and anxious, and also many other good things. Like, I do see myself as, like, I've simplified a lot of things in my life. I've let go of certain things in my life because I know it's not for the benefit of my family, but I am more anxious and I'm not as organized as I used to be. I'm getting back to that though. It's just in his first year of life, it was like, man, crazy with like acid reflux, and then we moved, and then we were building this house and living with my parents while building this house, and then we moved into this house, and then I got pregnant again, and it was just like, this has just been a whirlwind of the last few years, and it feels like I'm starting to really get back to that. And I did make a video on my postpartum depression and anxiety because I do feel like I'm at a very good place with that right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video is so long, but if you want to do this, I tag you, and make sure you let me know that you did this video and link it to me on Instagram so I can watch it.